different from the last time I came here. Honestly, it's looking so different. It's looking so different. I almost can't even, like, I could recognize the compound, but the feel is very different right now. Hello everyone, here we are again. Welcome back to all my returning subscribers. Welcome back, and to those maybe just seeing my video for the first time, you're welcome to this channel. So thank you everyone for gluing. Yes, for those who have supported me over time, thank you. To those who always watch my videos, thank you. And to those just seeing my videos for the first time, thank you for clicking, at least for clicking to watch. And please just subscribe to my channel. So today we are in Cape Coast Castle. Yes, I've been touring the central region, and we started with the University of Cape Coast, and right now we are in the Cape Coast Castle. So people all over the world actually visit this particular castle you're seeing. In fact, the two castles right now in Cape Coast, being the Cape Coast Castle and the Elmina Castle, you have people from all walks of life, especially Black Americans, who come here monthly, weekly, in fact daily, to visit this particular place. This place has had the president, the former president Barack Obama actually being here, and so many dignitaries from across the world, especially from the Black community, who have come to visit here to see how they actually made their way out of Africa to the continent they currently are. Now, we came here on a weekday. You would have expected that this place was going to be, empty and all, but we still saw a lot of people, and I was really shocked, because the first time I came here was on a Saturday sometime in 2022. So returning here in 2023, I was really shocked that a lot of things had changed. Yeah, the building is still standing, but there were some differences I could notice. And I was like, wow, you see why it's actually good to, if you're still in a place, just try and visit somewhere once in a while. I know some people want to know what the fee is like to come into this place. So for a Ghanaian, you pay 10 cedis. If it's a child, I think you pay 2 or 3 cedis. For a Ghanaian adult, you pay 10 cedis. But for foreigners, you pay 50 cedis. In one of my videos, somebody was saying I shouldn't mention foreigner, like my Accra Zoo video, and I'm like, that is how it's done. Like, they don't say, oh, Africans pay this, or West Africa pay this. We all pay the same as foreigners. So there you have the building history. The last time I came, I didn't see this. Probably it was closed, or it's something they just brought in, invented. So once you walk into the building, this is actually the first point of call. You'll be asked to go into this place to see the history of the Cape Coast Castle. So you move through all of this, and you see the building, the aerial view of the building, and you read through how slavery began, and how our forefathers were taken through this castle out of Africa. Now we know Cape Coast Castle was originally built by the Portuguese. So all the explanations to all of this, you can actually pause to read some of them. You can just pause the video and read, so that you have a good understanding of the Cape Coast Castle and everything that went down from the 60s, the 16th centuries, till when slave trade was finally abolished. So let me allow you read and we had a tour actually. Yes, if you come here, you are going to have a tour guide that's going to take you around the building, and they are still going to explain, because of course this one is your reading, that you're going to see for yourself what some of our forefathers had to go through, in the hands of oppressors. Yes. So the first time I came here, I actually had a very beautiful experience. It was quite emotional for me, because it was my first time seeing such. It was my first time, knowing. We all, the little history. I mean, we know about our forefathers, but seeing it is actually entirely very different, and it was really, really emotional. Thanks to the tour guide who took us around, because he explained and gave us, it made it so emotional for us. Yes, in this particular trip too, it was also very, very emotional, but I'm just letting you know, when you come here, you are actually going to see for yourself. Like I said, this place, you see a lot of Black Americans, or black, or what's it called, you see our people, the Black community come here to come and see how and why they are currently in the continent they are right now. This is just like coming back to your origin, to see for yourself what you've been told and all that. And I know there are countries who actually celebrate maybe the African Day or something. These are just days, they celebrate, to remember what their forefathers actually went through in the hands of oppressors before they were actually taken to Portugal, Cuba, Jamaica, America, and where they are in the world today. So let me allow you, like I said, just pause and watch or read, because not everybody might still have the opportunity to come to Africa, to come to Ghana to experience this. But what you're seeing here is going to give you a good, view and explanation to how slave trade started and when it was finally abolished. When I came here, this place wasn't filled to this level. They were filled, like it was a little bit far, but right now everywhere is covered, everywhere is it's covered. It wasn't like this before. Wow.
So that Africans can replace the Native Americans. Why? Because Africans are being extracted strong. And so these Europeans came to Africa to get Africans. When they came, they found Africans in the midst of wars of expansion. Africans were divided among themselves. Those who proved to be the Shadrachs, the Meshachs, and the Abednego, those who never bowed to the god of slavery. Okay, they fought the white people for their freedom. If they had the audacity to not choose the flight, no response. But you still defied till right here to die. You were given nothing to eat, there's nothing to drink. There's no air, there's no light. We call this room the room of no return. Because wherever went their life came back. And this is the only original door left in the castle. And we're gonna go there and have a look, but please watch your hat. Can you go down for me? And here it was on top. And they had 3 doors. 1, 2, 3. And all of the doors were locked. So meaning it was worse than you felt. Being in here for them days, some days the soldiers would come find out who's dead and who's not. If they came and there's some dead, some alive or not, get rid of the dead bodies. The living stayed in the dead. They locked up the 3 doors, went back and back the next day. They had to dig out till they found the last person. When that happened, because they couldn't stand the smell, they waited for some of the enslaved males who were trying to come carry the dead bodies of their own brothers. So carry the dead bodies, lay the dead bodies, they assembled the rest of the slaves to say, hey, have a look at what happened to people, which are in the Kunta Kinte. Nelson Mandela, the Kwame Nkrumahs, and the Luthers. When that was done, these dead bodies were wrapped, tied to stones, and dumped into the sea. So we call the sea the grave of the enslaved Africans. This shrine was not here. All that was here was the entrance, while the slaves in chains and in shackles walked through to the door of no return. But the entrance was blocked around 1834 to mark the end of the slave trade, and that was led by Captain George McClellan. These were bloody by tourists to pay homage to those who died here as slaves. And this is a shrine where the Africans Indian believed in before the introduction of the Christian. In chains, in shackles, in couples, they moved through, grabbed through to the door of no return. Nobody could go in and nobody could come out. This was just an observatory for the soldiers to stand and watch the slaves move. There are no steps, so please watch out.
Can we check?
Because this doors, you can't go those doors. Just like that.
You can't go, so you just have a look. There are no steps.
Yeah. What you just saw is an underground tunnel. I know some persons might not be used to this, so let me quickly explain. We saw the male dungeon. That place took over 1,000 men, the 5 compartments of that dungeon. They had maybe up to 200 or more in age, and they had no food, no water, and they were chained. There was even no access to light. You could see that they had to put up the light so we could see. Now, when they are ready to take them off to Europe, they pass them through the underground tunnel. Instead of taking them through this space you're seeing, they pass them through the underground tunnel, so they don't even have access to anything. They don't want them to, because they feel maybe some could still be stubborn and all. And remember, for those that are stubborn, they took them to the cell, punished them so well, and some of them actually die. Some of them don't see, they don't even have the opportunity to be shipped to Europe. So there, what you're seeing right here is the female dungeon. The female dungeon was closer to the door of no return. Doesn't mean because they were female they were maybe lenient with them. Well, you're going to hear what happened to the female, what happened to those who got pregnant and those who were also taken to Europe.
Each of these could also hold about 150 to 200 women, with the 3 holes to give them airline. And those who were taken advantage of, some of them were found pregnant. If they're found pregnant here, they took you outside the castle where they built stone houses for you. You'll be taken care of by some English doctors and nurses. After giving birth, they give you some grace period to breastfeed the kid and kind of get strong. When that was done, the kid was taken away from the mama, and the mama brought back here to wait for the next shipment. And if we're not fortunate to be found pregnant here, when you're found pregnant on the ship, somewhere through number 4, the reasons being that you will give them a hard time. You're pregnant, you feel weak, that you will need everything to be done for you. And nobody was ready for that. Again, slaves that were taken to the world could be sold at any point in time. They couldn't really resell any time they feel like it. And nobody will pregnant slave. They so no use to use the best they could ever do. Is to get rid of any questions. If you said no to rape, we're brought here for 2 weeks maximum punishment. If we're here for more than 2 weeks and you're still not giving to rape, then the English will humble you by letting you carry some of the big cannonballs. You carry more than one of them in your hands, and you are to walk with the balls. As you walk with the balls, if any of the balls fell, that meant agreement to be raped, consent. And may nobody escape it. Again, no slave took it back unless some of the English wanted to take advantage of her. Okay? You can go in there and have a look.
I don't get
We call this door the door of no return because the moment the Africans walked through this door, there was no place of return. This door was the door of no return because this was the final exit of all the Africans in the dungeons. All the African men came through the tunnel system, the women through the female dungeons. Together they urged them through this door. It's a basic human psychology. Today we are going to walk through a door millions of our ancestors walked through and never came back. But I've come to tell you that black energy never dies. Amen. The big slave ships that transported all the Africans to the Americas were not anchored closer to the castle. We were very far away from here, about 85 meters away from here. However, the British would bring small boats closer to the castle and force the Africans onto and take them to the bigger slave ships. After the Africans were onto the ships, we just transport them. We call that journey the Middle Passage. The Middle Passage is considered as the most dangerous process of the transatlantic slave trade. The journey took them over 4 months. It is estimated that over 4 million West Africans were shipped off from Cape Coast Castle alone. Over 12 million West Africans were shipped off from West Africa. Over 40% of the total population of the West Africans were shipped off by the Portuguese. The Portuguese normally transported the Africans to Brazil. That is why Brazil has a very large population of black people.
The most emotional part, black energy never dies. I had to bring back the voice from the old video I did sometime last year when I came to Cape Coast Castle, because it still brings back so much emotions when I remember black energy never dies. Anywhere you are an African to the world. We went to other parts of the castle, especially the first floor. They took us around, the halls where they were doing the exchange, and where they did their negotiations, the governor's office, the governor's bedroom and all. And these guys were actually living good lives. They were at the top, and there was even a church at the top, and the slaves were just underneath them. They were even actually worshiping while slaves were underneath. Wow, it's actually sad. Honestly, it's sad. So there we were, we just went round, and that was it. So guys, what do you think about this video? Have you been to Cape Coast Castle before, or it's Elmina Castle you've been to? Please let us know in the comment section. Please like this video. Don't cross this video without subscribing to my channel.
I've come to tell you that black energy never dies.
Amen. Amen. Amen.